perennial thing that we almost always celebrate, just to perhaps tickle ourselves that they need us a certain dream, and we're still pushing that dream could come one day. I don't know. I have my thoughts, but on this occasion, I don't think I have an opinion on this platform. All opinion is very much reserved to one and only Joe Osae Addo. My guest today.
My brother.
How you doing?
This is a heavy weight on my shoulder because I'm not an AU expert.
but of course, he's a Pan-Africanist and also a very good architect at that. Does it occur to you 25th May, just like March 6th? Does it occur to you regular? I mean, do you know that?
Is it in our consciousness, you're saying, right?
Yes, sure.
I must admit that it is not for me, but it should. So I follow the dates on the calendar, and I think it's a very important day, although we don't live our lives as if we are part of this larger wonderful continent and the aspirations that the founding fathers put to it. You know, it's like we're all fighting our own personal battles without understanding the whole. And I think as a creative, there's magic in numbers, and I think this represents what they aim.
But clearly, that is what it should be. I should first of all think about a unit called Ghana before I think about the confederation called Africa. Is that not the case? Yeah?
Well, I mean, of course, we all have our own interests, personal interests, but it's not exclusive of the collective.
Sure.
You know, this collective ideal is a human instinct. And somehow in our quest to modernize and become quote-unquote Western, we lose that to me, that's the African instinct for us to share and do together. But I'm still very, very optimistic because there's a whole new generation of young Africans and diasporans, by the way. You know, to me, I think part of the African unity issue is because our diaspora, both the African and the black in the diaspora, those in Brazil or North America or in the Caribbean and even Asia, there hasn't been an emotional attachment to Africa. I look at the Jewish diaspora and its relationship to the state of Israel. Beyond the politics that we can all get frustrated about, the Jewish diaspora supports Israel emotionally. Each country's diaspora.
But how will you know that I come from Ghana?
No, but I'm saying even the Ghanaian diaspora, we know.
Mm.
But I think that there's a big move by African Americans, for example, and even people from Cuba and so forth, to look back to get a sense of the future. I mean, the world's situation with Brexit and what's happening in North America, the United States in particular, has forced people to rethink these allegiances. That ultimately, yes, we may be living abroad very comfortably, but is it really comfortable? Is it really comfortable with all the issues of immigration and migration going on? I think people are beginning to realize that home has to be addressed. The issues of home have to be addressed.
We surely will come to that. But we seem to be losing our identity because the Europeans talk about European Union, and the next moment, Africans are talking about Africanist Union, and I get the impression that we seem to be almost always copying the West, even governance structure. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of the who we are as a people? Why can't we chart our own course, a course that would take into cognizance our environment, our situation, our history into perspective?
Well, that's this issue of identity, or the erasure of, leading to this identity crisis that we find on the continent, is directly linked to, of course, the vestiges of colonial rule. Along the way, we lost confidence in who we are. As a creator, I'm an architect.
Sure.
I think I'll talk a bit about that lens.
Right.
You know, in the 60s and 50s, post-Second World War, there was a vocabulary, a language of architecture called the international style. Those are the kinds of those white buildings that you see in airport residential, and even the buildings are represented in Fanspen School, all the high schools of the time, with this internationally recognized vocabulary or language in architecture. It was an architecture style. So that was a very European intervention. My concern has been, since then, why haven't we evolved this language, this philosophy, and contextualize it so that it's about us? But this issue applies across the board, from our education system, healthcare system, governance system. And I think there's too much, whether we like it or not, colonial influence still on the continent, leading to this sense of questioning who we are and being so aspirational to be like our former colonial masters. Don't get me wrong, we can learn. We always have to learn from others, but we should never forget who we are. I coined the word a few decades ago called inno-native, which means that of course we can be innovative, learning from both the West, but can never forget it must be underpinned by ours, indigenous intelligence and knowledge. So I think this is where we need to really focus. We can't blame the West. We need to look at ourselves.
Do we have leadership crisis? Because clearly the likes of Mwalimu Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, Kwame Nkrumah, they espoused a certain vision. They inspired to really lead the people. Was it just because we're fighting, quote unquote, an enemy that galvanized us? And so right after that, we don't seem to know the need for us to move on at the next level. Is it a leadership thing that we face as a people?
Well, I think that this leadership crisis is global, and one has to look at history after the Second World War through the post-Cold War era, and look at what America has become. You know, I left America after the second Gulf War, with George Bush II. I've lived through wonderful times with Bill Clinton, who kind
Saddam Hussein era.
Oh, yes. So America had changed, and I foresaw then in 2000 what is happening now, because Americans changed. So the same with us. We have changed as a people, Africans, Ghanaians, and our leadership is a reflection of us. See, people always blame the leaders and so forth, but what about us? And I'll narrate an interesting story to you. So I talk in parables, by the way.
Okay, so we go for a short commercial break when we come back. This is a wonderful conversation I'm having here. It's a way of also contributing to the AU Day, and it's great. But we'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, Joe Addo, as we all used to call him, will give you his perspectives about who the Africans should be.
Spa Body and Beyond, the touch of relief.
Welcome to Hetty's World Deco Training School, located at Trade Fair Center, La Accra, where professionalism comes to life. We train you to become an event planner and decorator. wedding planner, and an interior decorator. Courses here include floral arrangement, balloon decor, wreath and hamper making, wedding planning, table setting for events, and many more. We also help plan your wedding, funeral, engagement, parties, and any other event. Course duration is from 1 month to 6 months with an NVTI examination. Hostel facilities are available for accommodation. For more details, contact us on 026 625 4814 or 054 371 2102. You can also email us on headsdecor@gmail.com. At Hetty's World Decor Training School, professionalism is our hallmark.
Okay, so welcome back. Still on the program, this is the first show, and for you all out there who really are watching us, thank you very much for being a part of this show. I'm told I have on the line Kofi B. Kukubo, and he's the governance and policy analyst. Kofi, thank you very much for being part of the show from the other side. But let me ask you, what are we celebrating? Is it the death of colonialism? Development? What really are we celebrating as Africans on the 25th of May this year?
Anyway, it's very important that we understand why this day was set aside to be remembered by all African countries that are members of the African Union.
Right.
If you do remember, the foundation of this union was started 25th of May 1963. That was the Organization of African Unity, which was heavily championed by our illustrious son and former president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The idea then was to assist all other African countries that were still colonized to have their political freedom, then later economic freedom.
Right.
So Nkrumah by definition put certain critical pillars in place that when the OAU is well established, especially by making sure that all African countries have their political freedom, then the next level will be the economic freedom and the unity of Africa. Over the period, the primary purpose where the OAU was to assist all other African countries to gain their political independence was achieved. So the next move was, how do we become economically independent after political independence?
Yeah.
And once that was moved out, the current leaders thought it wise that the union is no more an organization, but rather they should begin pursuing the unity of Africa for the purpose of trade, economic development, and if possible, having our own AU court and a high military command.
Sure.
That had the UU and other unions have it across the world or in Europe. Hence, the name changed from OAU to AU, African Union. That also led to a shift of the original vision that was put in place. So that is the history behind the celebration of African Union Day.
Okay, so then, coming to the next phase or the next chapter, what is now the AU, and of course you spoke about integration, you spoke about development. Are we anywhere close to that vision?
That is the unfortunate aspect, because one of the Pan-African idea that AU intended to pursue, like the establishment of African Bank, Central Bank, is still on a drawing board. I don't know whether we have African Central Bank. We still don't have, because that's one of the regulatory institutions that will assist to begin to harmonize and unionize all our banking regulations across the African continent. That is also on a drawing board. But once that is done, then we have a central bank that will now make sure that all the banking and the financial transactions and regulations that will have to open those transactions across member countries or among member countries are applied. It is still on a drawing board. Nothing has changed. The removal of trade barriers among African countries is still not achieved.
Kofi, if you can please position yourself properly for us. We are losing you, please.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Now we can hear you. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
that was a bad, yes.
Yes, so go ahead.
Yeah, the removal of trade barriers also among African countries or member countries is still also on the drawing board. It has not been achieved. I mean, any journey to Ivory Coast or Togo, Benin, Nigeria, you see the various frustration that we go through. So that does not enhance or improve trade among member countries. Secondly, also the transportation system among member countries, it is still extremely difficult. In some cases, if you want to fly, that would have a quick travel to one of the member countries like maybe Sierra Leone or Guinea or Conakry, etc. You may have to fly all the way to Egypt and even fly down back to Guinea, Conakry. And with that challenges with transportation system across or among member countries, it cannot enhance trade.
Okay, so finally,
there are lots of,
so finally, you believe we have the leadership that really understand the vision of the OAU, which of course has now metamorphosed into AU. The current leadership, do they really understand the vision?
I can only hope so, because understanding the vision requires proper strategy and implementation programs. When you have a case where even most of the African the member countries are not even paying their dues, then you wonder whether really our leaders really understand the vision of the AU. Most often we have to go back again to EU or even Chinese government to assist the African Union on certain critical projects and programs to assist them. It's just because member countries are not paying dues to the AU itself. So if you ask me whether our leaders do understand the vision, I will have a hesitation, because once you understand the vision, it requires certain commitment, certain policy directives, certain strategies, and programs that will actualize the vision.
It's great.
So I will hesitate to answer that question.
Thank you very much. It's great having you on the show, and definitely will be coming your way for more of such in our subsequent programs. Thank you very much for being part of the show. In fact, that was Kofi Kukubo, is the governance and policy analyst. Before that, you were telling me a story, but quickly,
responding to that.
Our current leadership,
Yes.
do they understand the vision of the forefathers?
Oh, I think that I can't speak for every leader, but most Africans, including our leaders, in principle, believe in this mandate. I believe so. It's not. It's about the how. How do we get this to happen? And you know, our local politics is often not all local, because we're still at the being controlled through economic relationships by other countries outside of this continent. But I think that, just to touch on something he said about, we overly focus on the economic. I believe strongly, and I'm just talking, this is not scientific, but this is my emotional and intuitive thinking, is that creativity needs to be brought to the fore on this continent in how we are going to develop. So, for example, what I mean is, creative people, artists, musicians, writers, are very integrated on the continent, because they are private endeavors, and creative minds often flock together. somehow it does not translate to the political, where there are all these stumbling blocks, both in self-imposed or other, that does not allow us to do the big integration.
Unfortunately, is the politician that is supposed to lead that drive. And so if they renege, then clearly we can't get to the vision.
So what I'm saying is, so what is our responsibility as citizens of Africa, citizens of Ghana, for example, in making this issue, right, a big one? I mean, everybody's protesting about pay increases, but have you ever seen a huge demonstration on AU Day demanding that this should be front and center of our political
Do the
agenda?
citizens themselves even understand?
That's what I'm saying.
The AU Day?
So we need to really go back to the drawing board and recognize that we, the people, need to be re-educated about their relevance. History should not be overdwelled, but history underpins the future thinking.
Today's celebration is centered on corruption. Yes. And I ask myself, how are they going to fight corruption? Because even the establishment of the African justice system has not come into fruition. So I ask myself, how is that going to be? Yahya Jammeh has been taken to Equatorial Guinea, likely he'll be taken to Switzerland for trial. We cannot do that. So how can we fight corruption really as a people? If indeed most of our leaders themselves are the champions of this mess.
So I have a slightly controversial issue on the use of the word corruption. First of all, even on our personal level as Ghanaians, we are quite dishonest. Ghanaians, I find, this is just a general comment, is that we play nice, but we're actually quite passive aggressive. For me, not doing something that you're supposed to do is a very aggressive stance. That often leads to corruption because somebody wants you to pay them for what they have to do. So let's look at it at that level. Then if you look at if you believe in the adage that we are a reflection of our leaders, and vice versa, this is the big problem. Let me give you a story from Rwanda, Kigali. I was in Kigali last year, very recently, and I was in a rental car. The driver turns on the radio and says, and this little chatter like talk radio in Ghana, and I said to him, I asked him, is this a public or private stations? He said, oh, in Rwanda, most of the radio stations are government stations.
Most of them.
And then I said, wow, in Ghana, when you turn on the radio, first of all, I said we have thousands of radio stations, thousands, and all we do from morning to night is insult our president. That's what I said to him. And then he turned to me and he said very calmly, why insult your president when there's so much work to do? Listen to the answer. Why insult your presidents if there's so much work to do? So my point is, we need to accept that we are not productive, and hence as part of our poverty issue. And poverty creates a whole series of schisms in any society. We need to work ourselves out of the poverty creatively for the betterment of our countries and by extension the entire continent. We always complain about outside influence. Our inefficiencies is what creates the voids in which foreign powers can, fill in that gap and dominate.
But clearly, for that person, everybody wants freedom, unlimited. They also want to do things their own way.
Yes.
But that is very much limited by if you like, the structure that we have, the what we have accepted as a law that we have, and so I'm talking about leadership. If leadership do not freedom to lie,
yes,
everybody want to do whatever he or she.
If you notice, I'm trying to stay away from the politics of, but
it's a reality.
I know, but I'm saying that I'm looking at, we can blame leadership all we want, but I think I always focus on we the people. I always focus on we the people and our role in understanding that democracy and freedom requires responsibility. So that if I see somebody walking on the street and they have sachet of water in their hand and they just freely drop it without understanding,
that person ought to be punished instantly.
Absolutely. But we should punish ourselves. Who are the people in the community at the local level? It's not about the presidency. Who is it in the community who look at you and say, "Hey, pick up that piece of paper," and if you don't pick it up, they can take you to the look. So we need to.
In the 70s, we used to have that, where even the communities became, like watchdogs amongst themselves.
Absolutely.
There was that communal integration where we have families of friends, what we call family friends.
Yeah.
Parents will spank you if you don't do the right thing. But clearly, so we used to have it.
Yes. All across Africa, by the way, in most parts of Africa.
So why the breakdown? That communal spirits.
The breakdown I would leave to psychologists. but
you as a realist, you as a Ghanaian who lived in probably in the 60s, in the 70s.
I did.
Okay,
I did.
And you saw the beauty of that system, which indeed made us feel Ghanaians.
Because even your parents who control your unit encouraged other parents to discipline you.
Sure.
Now, and also, we had a connection to our roots, which is our rural areas. Most of us are rural.
Sure.
We just wear these nice clothes. I'm from a Kropong.
Okay.
Make a tree like everybody else. But I remember when our grandparents linking to your roots is very important in the formation of a contemporary mind.
Sure.
So I tell people like us, we straddle both worlds seamlessly. I can be as local as I want and be as Western as I want because I've been trained in both ways equally.
And you can be tough as a New Yorker.
Absolutely. So I think we have to look at the whole ecosystem of raising a community. This is what we're not talking about. We're blaming leadership, but leadership doesn't only happen at the top. It happens on all strata, and that's what I think we should be focusing on. Let me tell you something. I will not mention names, but I was in a country recently which we all know is very corrupt, very, very, very corrupt, and they have their own internal issues. But I was walking on this wonderful waterfront esplanade. It was landscape beautiful. It had been reclaimed land, gyms for the people, restaurants. Grass is impeccable. And so I took a picture and I sent it to my friends in Accra, WhatsApp, and I said, "This is what corruption can do."
Meaning?
Yes, we can be corrupt. We are corrupt on certain levels, but at the end of the day, we owe it to the people to do the work we were voted in or mandated to do. Corruption happens both ways, as this week has been all. It's not only locally induced, but also external. So we have a lot of work to do.
That's a beautiful one, but a quick one. Of course, you can like us on our social media handles. That's on Facebook at GNTVGH, Twitter at GNTVGH, Instagram GNTVGH, and of course YouTube on GNTVGH. But we went to town to seek opinion of some Ghanaians on the celebration of the AU Day. But let's see how they themselves understand the occasion.
Dear, minim say a da Kwame Nkrumah. I na John Sanka back Africa na abomu na kan na ya United San America for United yes say anyama koye mahoni nti Kwame Nkrumah so ye na John Sanka obey the same thing for Africa na mahen na kan hina ye bibia ye japade na ye dokọ amnado ye koye ton fufufu na kan ye keep ni hina wa ha na kan Africa so tumi otumpono but fofu antata ana mpenimfo ya muye ku na mutuni fiso na bibia ejinsemu nti me menim fa ho no me ana me ye madwuma me tonska hantais nti me kasa me tena fi a abahadwen sesi ya wa wonim se na man mu aye nyema nkoye nti se o kasa wo ko aka tena fi di holiday a sika kura wo de ba di holiday no kura no obi ni ho nti be da no aka sa wo kwa akatena fie wo di holiday wo katena we nkwala ne de anapom ba di wo twop money nti wan kwa problem baba nti wo ntumi ntena fie say wo go kedi holiday
every day ya kan ya ti every year bia celebrate ye but me who the use of it as a Ghanaian, as a person, because look at Liberia, Libya, Tama terrorists for attacking Gaddafi. African leaders now say AU they know AU more form as AU then on me boss uncle for what I say. Muslim AU look at the other African countries it may attack you the other country presidents in there then on attacking. Most watch AU day as a normal Ghanaian citizen. Mode mabe celebrate AU day party I can say modi my teacher mabre makoda. But me normal person me brena jam be adwuma bia menya bibi kakade atomotom. Mosi me nkoda holiday. What am I benefit from it? What I say? Me nya hwemfimu. AU day no impact ben dey abreme. Me nya hwemfimu. And AU day no mo kan dey yati ye celebrate but it doesn't favor me for
me nema de papa bia efimu but that's almost cause holiday AU and AU but me shada nim at the party I walk on almost a holiday when already African angasa na abibia kasa kware de can see ye paying for no so me this Canada o mo show man ye ni amanyama me holiday bi kra just but say holiday but me particular no me find say holiday man
minimum AU day dia metiase ne say abibre mu nyina benya nkabom na omo ankasa timi aye de o say omo ye omo independent one abrofo so na omo timi aka omo ho abom develop omo man de minimum AU day no national holiday by member because system no more tight kakra.
So interesting perspectives there from the ordinary Ghanaian. The people, I mean the regular Ghanaians, those who feel that why I need to go do my business on a day like this. It's a Friday, and clearly it's going to be a long weekend. And so you heard the people's understanding of the
my
day.
Sentiments exactly.
So let's wrap up this. So maybe you can tie in what the people said, and of course yourself. What is your final take on the subject?
Yes. I think that the people, I think sometimes we misunderstand the thinking of what we call the regular Ghanaian. I mean, they're very astute. They're very astute because they work by intuition. I think some of the educated class are too heady, where everything's too intellectual. This is the reality on the ground, and sometimes reality checks are important in improving how we think development should happen. We all joke about this in this country. There are too many holidays that I think affect efficiency and productivity. We always joke about it, but this is the reality. Ghanaians we have to reach the point to recognize that there are issues of productivity that affects our well-being. We can't wait for the mayor or for the MP. We ourselves, working in concert with them, of course, need to change how we.
So it's great governance. So
always.
Next time, Sanwa Basani.
But you cannot let me off the. I can't leave without talking about Saneba. Is it too late?
It's too late. But of course, maybe one of this weekend we're going to invite Mr. Addo here to give us something brief and gist about Saneba. Of course, the show continues right after this break, and Annie Ampa, my co-host, will be joining you with some more trends.
Great. Thank you, my brother.
Fruits play an essential role in the human body system. But have you tried fruits made in an extraordinary way? Then, Golden Fruit is here just for you. We have mango roll made from sweet, juicy mango, pure, dried, cut and carefully rolled into choice rolls. We have cocoa mango balls, dried fruits, and our fruit bars made with different recipes of dried fruit. Contact us on 0279 848722 or email us on fd.local@bpwag.ch. Golden Fruits, it's tropical, it's sugar-free, it's just for you.
So it's great coming your way on this program today. Annie, who are the guys that we should give shout out to, as we normally say?
I think we just have to thank Echo Spa Mineral Water. They always support us by giving us something to quench our thirst.
Okay.
So yeah, Echo Spa Mineral Water, thank you. But we need to thank the producers that put this thing together. Also GN Bank, the People's Bank. I don't have to forget that GN Bank has actually taken us into the operability world. Yeah. So before anything came your way.
But you see, you guys, you just put me on the spot.
Why?
You and your producer.
What did we do?
And after here, I need to.
We have questions to answer.
Yes.
But before that, let me just remind you that the team that left me, they were reminding you that they need support to fight mob justice.
Okay.
So if you have some support, especially mobile money, if you're using Jet mobile money, try as much as possible. Send it to 0246 0809074 for your support.
Okay, so like I said, good to have you on the show. But I hear there are some WhatsApp messages that I need to quickly scan through for us.
Then I need a tab. If you can pass me the tab, yes, quickly. Let me just do that quickly. It's a holiday, so but people actually dedicated their time to watch the program.
Show.
Yeah, and they wanted to say a thing or two. So let me quickly see if I can pick some of the messages that came through. Come on. Come up. Okay, so this one says that good morning, I'm so sad today for Major Mahama and his family. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Yes, of course. I mean, it reminded me, happy holiday. You say you didn't add your name. And this one says, good morning, please, I wish my baby girl Angel Eduboahin happy birthday for me, her mom Frida Aban of GTV Sunyani. So Frida Aban is wishing her daughter baby girl Eduboahin happy birthday girl, enjoy your day. This one you sent me some videos. Let me just jump to this one. I'm Halifax, good morning, please can I get a contact of Zion Felix? I'm Halifax, watching the show. You can get it later when the producers get your message. Nanado's order for the arrest of Nyanteji is an intimidation tactic to suppress the truth. The deliberate contractions to conceal the truth has just
great.
begun.
I guess
wrong message indeed.
Yes, but it's really good that we got some messages from other parts of the country where it tells GNTV is getting somewhere. But so you be on. So start telling people that you be on by June 1st.
Okay, let me announce my comeback.
Bye bye. So it's really great to be a partner today, and I guess maybe one of the holidays I'll try
and do it again.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to break my husky voice before I get on.